Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And if you are new on this platform, this is Empowerment Network, and my name is Comfort Comfort. So, guys, again, if you are new on this platform, we are empowered. Oh, there's some noise at the background. All right. Sorry, guys. There was noise at the background. I had to take care of that. Thank you for joining. Stay tuned. If you don't know what we are talking about, don't worry. Just listen, ask a few more questions because it's an exciting opportunity, a life-changing opportunity we're about to discuss tonight. And of course, I'm honored with the presence of three powerful men. One is still on the way. They are going to share their experience, what they have done in life, where they met on passive, and what difference that ONPASSIVE is going to make in everything that we have seen up to now. Hello, Dan. Thank you for joining Empowerment Network. And Mike, thank you too. It's always a pleasure having you both here. All right. So if you can unmute yourself, I just want to know, like I was saying earlier on, Dan and Mike, I know we've been listening to you for 5 years and counting now, depending when we all joined ONPASSIVE. And I have an idea that you three, you, Marty, and Dan, you have been doing some stuff online until the time you met ONPASSIVE. So we would just like you to quickly give us an overview. What have you done? What are the type of things you did before you ever met ONPASSIVE, please? Mike,
Go ahead,
if
Mike.
you all right, yes.
You want me to go first, Dan?
Sure.
Yeah. No, thanks. Thanks, Comfort. And it's always a joy to be here and to chat with you. Dan, Marty, and I, we've been online a very, very long time, longer than anybody would imagine. And ONPASSIVE is really something unique, and I'll tell you why. When Marty, Dan, and I started online, and each one of us started online at a different time, we didn't always work together. And there were times when each one of us were kind of a lone dog. We did our own thing, and until we kind of found the three of us. But when we look back at what we were doing, and I'm talking about over a decade ago, it was really, really difficult to come online and build a business and build residual income online. That's why we're all here. We want a residual income. We want to bring in some money to take care of ourselves, our family, our community. And over a decade ago, obviously, when I came on, I thought I knew a lot. I thought I was going to be great at online marketing. And unfortunately, it just bombed out. It was so hard to market online, to build a business online, to make money online. And there was no one there. I had no one to talk to until I got involved with Dan and then Marty. And obviously from there, we were able to talk to each other and kind of get a strategy together. But initially it was really, really hard. And it took me probably 10 years to learn the things I needed to learn to come online and do the things I'm doing today. That's a long time. Most people are not willing to do that. They're just not going to, they don't have the inclination or the time to spend that much time online and learning the things you need to learn. Now, here's what's really, really unique about ONPASSIVE. 12 years ago, when I started, I did everything that I did. I wasn't making a dime and no one was paying me, and they were never going to pay me. What's so unique about ONPASSIVE, whatever your inclinations are, if you want to come on, learn how to do this, learn how to market in ONPASSIVE, you can do that. And as you do that, get this, ONPASSIVE is going to pay you. You are going to be able to generate an income because ONPASSIVE is going to go to work for you. So ONPASSIVE really gives you that time freedom, that liberty to learn the things you want to learn and the things you want to do online as ONPASSIVE is building your income. Now, if you just heard that and you're going, what did he just say? Understand, this has never been done before. You could not do this 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. It's impossible for an individual to come online without any experience, come online and make money. You can't do it. I'm telling you, you can't do it. because I
All
tried
right.
it and I was horrible. Go ahead,
Yes.
Comfort. Yes.
Yes, Mike, thank you. I would like you to hold on there for now because we would like to hear from Dan as well. What
Okay.
you did, because we're more interested in the difficulties. I'm happy you've already give us a hint that on passive seems to be much easier. But then I'm interested in the past because we want to find out what the difficulties were so that we know how easier it's going to be now. Dan, it's yours, please.
Okay. Well, I just got to echo what Mike said about being involved in this industry for a long time, and I think you have to look at the reasons you got involved in it in the first place. And my wife and I got involved before the internet. I mean, it was the early '90s, and we didn't really have the ability to market on the internet. So we were mailing out packages, and we were doing things that on the phone with people. So three-way, the three-way calls and all of these things that the gurus are saying is the best way to most effective way to build a business. Well, over and over and over again, we found out that that was not the case, that you would not succeed. Now, I will say that we had a limited amount of success with some of these people. We would build our organizations up and we'd think that everybody was going to do the same thing that we were doing. And they just can't do it because in order to get paid in these businesses, you have to recruit. And that is the requirement. So in order to generate that residual income that Mike was talking about, you had to recruit people into your business. And if you couldn't do that and you couldn't get people to do the same thing that you were doing, you would not be successful and you would not get paid. And you're still getting billed for the auto ship for the product that you're purchasing. Now, some of these products and some of these companies are pretty good. They weren't bad, but they were a lot of them were Me Too products, and you had to sell the fact that this is the features and benefits of this product were better than any of the others. Well, bottom line is we all know, we've all been involved in them when they don't work, and you're not going to get paid, and people are going to quit faster than you can bring them in. So I experienced a lot of that, and then when Mike, Marty, and I got together, and we built big businesses, big numbers with a lot of companies, but the companies didn't last. And it was because of the business model that they had, the way they had structured their business. So that's the failures, and we got to put those behind us and just kind of learn from our mistakes and know that they don't work. It's not a recipe for success in the online business.
That was very interesting, especially the bit where you had to do it kind of the analog way, like posting and stuff like that. I think that's very interesting. So
I'm showing my age, huh?
yeah. So one of the things that is making news with us now is the fact that Mr. Mufare and his team, they are going to drive us targeted traffic amongst other things. So what was the source of traffic in those days, apart from you talking to people and doing stuff? What was the source of traffic?
Yeah. When we look at the old days, when we look at what people had to do, you literally, you had to sell and you had to recruit. You had to do those two things. And it takes a really, really long time to learn how to do that offline and online. I mean, Dan did it way, way back offline, but he also did it online. I can remember a time when Dan and I got together. Dan, he bought a program from one of the gurus, one of those individuals that was going to make us rich, show us how to do the business. It was about $6,000. It was not a cheap program. And it was about 300 pages. And you go through that and you put a few pieces together, but it was so complicated. Eventually we just had to throw it out the door. And initially, when you start talking about traffic, there are a lot of different traffic sources online. And most people have tried the ones where you can go out and you can buy a list, you can do this and that, do a lot of different things, and then email marketing and things like that. But they don't work. And that's the one thing that most people that are online that are very, very successful, they don't tell you this. They don't tell you that you're going to fail. And I understand why they don't do that. But for 12 years, even though we had some success, I was never ever able to tell anybody you will succeed, period. You will succeed. And obviously I didn't want to tell them they're going to fail because, they're just not going to come in and do the business. And you never know that diamond in the rough that was built for online marketing. And there are people out there like that. There are a few, but not very many. So when we talk to people, we got to the point where we understood you're not going to succeed. You can't do what Dan does. You can't do what Marty does. You can't do what I do. And you can't do what all three of us do. And that's the real kicker. Putting everything together and having talents in different areas to be able to actually drive traffic. Comfort, driving traffic is the hardest thing you'll ever do online. It really is. And Ash Mufareh will tell you that too. Today, ONPASSIVE is spending not millions of dollars on driving traffic. They are spending tens of millions of dollars on driving traffic. And the individuals that they have, Ash very early on, he had a traffic source that he used for years. They're very, very hard to find. In fact, only the elite get to use them because they spend a lot of money with these individuals. But his traffic source was very, very good. I'll tell you an interesting story. When ONPASSIVE initially started, Ash Mufareh went to his traffic source with his business model, put it in front of his traffic source, and says, "Can you supply the traffic for this business?" And this business was for us because ONPASSIVE initially was there to help us drive traffic, build a business, and make money. And as he put ONPASSIVE in front of the traffic source, the guy came back to him and he said, "Listen, yeah, we can supply traffic for you. You can't handle it." In other words, the amount of traffic they were going to send to ONPASSIVE, and this is one of the reasons businesses die along the way, they're not capable of the volume that's going to be coming their way. And the traffic source that Ash had, they flat out said, "You will go under. You cannot handle what we can do for you." Now, that was 4.5 years ago. Today, they can handle anything that comes their way, which is good for you and I. So that's kind of a synopsis of where we've been, what we've been doing, the difficulties, and why ONPASSIVE today is the place to be, because they are going to go to work for you, and you will be successful. I can finally say that.
That sounds very good, and of course, really reassuring. And guys, if you are watching us, you're joining us for the first time, or you've been hearing about ONPASSIVE and ignoring it, this is the time for you to listen. We don't think this opportunity is going to be here forever. You better learn and take a decision that is going to be helpful for you, for your future. So, Daniel, earlier on you talked about companies they failed because of the kind of business model they had. And one of the last things too, where Mike was ending, he said business, they failed, they collapsed and stuff like that. So what would be the difference between the other business models and what ONPASSIVE has got to offer us?
Well, I'll start by answering your question on the back here. It says, if you can't succeed with ONPASSIVE, will it be difficult to make it anywhere else? Well, I would say that I'm not going to judge anybody else, and there's many people out there that are not in ONPASSIVE who are very successful, enjoy their work, and make a very good living, and are enjoying life. The difference is the potential. The potential ONPASSIVE gives people is unlimited, and it's unlimited, and it's long term, and they're going to succeed for a long term, and you're never going to get fired, and you will never retire. Okay, so those are the difference. Now, many of these people who are very successful, enjoy their lives, go on great vacations, do all kinds of fun things, and really do enjoy their work. Many of these people, whether they know it yet or not, are going to be customers and affiliates with ONPASSIVE. And that's because of the fact that they're always on the internet. Most of these people are very successful. They're always on the internet, and they'll be searching for superior products with the best value and the best price. And so those people are going to be involved with ONPASSIVE, whether they know it or not, because they're going to be customers. And, Comfort, there's also a segment of the population that really would dream of starting their own business. And they don't know where to begin. So they migrate towards the MLM because it seems like it's the easy way to do it. And then they find out that they can't do it. they can't succeed in recruiting. They can't market. And if you wanted a brick and mortar business, if you had a great idea, everybody's watched Shark Tank, haven't they? Well, Shark Tank, those people have a great idea. They have an invention. They want to get on Shark Tank and they want to get the capital to fund their business. They want to understand how to structure the business. So there's all kinds of obstacles that these people have like, do I need space? What's the competition? How do I advertise? And how much is it going to cost to advertise that business? What's my projected income from this business? And will I ever make a profit? When will I make a profit from the business? And is there short-term and long-term, what are my possibilities? What are the projections for my short and long-term success? And those are just a few of the things to consider if you even wanted to start your own business. So people migrate to the MLM because they've got products already developed. They think they can get rich quick. They don't understand that they've got to recruit people into the business to be paid, and they don't succeed. So people have to bring people in faster than they quit. And even the very, very successful people in this industry have to bring people in faster than they quit. They have a big list and they'll maintain a certain level of success, but it's not long-term and it's not true residual income.
I know. So thank you. You just talked about profit, and I had a question here in terms of profit, because I've been talking, Fumi, we talk here a lot. Actually, she shared a situation where she joined the multi-level marketing scheme. The first time she made a sale of about £800, and at the end of the month, what comes to her account is £13, because it has to be distributed from there to there to there. And then when they get to her, it's £13 left. So I just want us to make this clear, given that some people are still hanging on the fence because they think that it's the case here. How would profit sharing take place in ONPASSIVE? Mike, if you would like to go first.
I don't think we know that yet, Comfort. Ash Mufareh hasn't shared that with us yet. But I think when you start to understand the market, when you start to understand the amount of money that's going to be coming into ONPASSIVE, the amount that's going to be distributed, it almost is secondary. And I'll give you some examples of that. Some people that come in, we have over 1 million founders in ONPASSIVE right now. We have over 1 million affiliates in ONPASSIVE right now. And some people look at that number and they go, well, ONPASSIVE is going to be saturated. We're really not going to be able to make the money that we've been talking about because there are just too many people in. And what they don't understand is our market size. And I'll give you an example of how big a market we have. ONPASSIVE is coming out with OConnect. OConnect is a webinar platform, the video conferencing platform that's going to be coming out and introduced to the world, and they can buy it. So our market, our online market today is about 5.4 billion people. We'll just say 5 billion people. Okay, that is our market. That's the number of people that could come in and buy OConnect. Is that it? No, it's not. ONPASSIVE is going to have numerous products moving forward. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 different products. Each time ONPASSIVE brings another product out, our market goes from 5 billion to another 5 billion, 10 billion, another product 15 billion, another product 20 billion. Yeah, there aren't that many people in the world, but those are the amount of sales we could get with the individuals that are in the world. And our market today, it's not 5 billion people. It's probably closer to, it's 20 billion sales that could happen within ONPASSIVE with just the few products they have out right now. So when you start to think about market and it being saturated and us not being able to make the money we think we can make and want to make, that's just wrong. And then you listen to Mr. Mufareh. He has told us one thing, that he is going to share as much profit as he can with you and I, those individuals participating with ONPASSIVE. And if that turns out to be 50%, 48, 50%, it is massive. The amount of money that's going to be coming in, you have to understand that some of the markets within ONPASSIVE, they're not $1 million markets. They're not $100 million markets. They are $1 trillion markets. And if you only take 10, 15, 20% of that market, believe me, that will take care of every individual that's come into ONPASSIVE today and the next 10 years. That's how much money it is. And it is going to be way, way, way bigger than that, guys. I don't want to burst your bubble. It's going to be trillions and trillions and I shouldn't get crazy here.
I know.
It's going to be a lot.
I'm just laughing because, I'm fired up. There's times I feel that I've known a lot, but then when you speak, you always get me like, oh my God, so I know I have an idea because we've been listening to you a lot. So, Dan, I would like us to dwell a bit again on this profit thing. I know Mike has said that right now we don't know yet, but then are we safe to say that we will not be in that situation where your profit, when you make profit, it has to be shared between you and some people? Does it look like we're going to be out of that then?
I just have to agree with Mike. I don't like even commenting on anything about the profit or the compensation until we know for sure. I know that when Ash tells us that he is going to share the profits and it's going to be more than as much as he legally can. That's all I need to know. And do we know there's going to be profits? Absolutely. Is he going to provide the best value for the best price? And those profits are going to be shared? Absolutely. And I think another thing I'd like everybody to take into consideration here is, and a lot of times we've talked about it a lot, but we don't emphasize it enough, is that we have all the confidence in the world that we're associated, at least I do, and everybody here should, that we're associated with a company that's at least 5 years ahead of the competition. Okay, we are all in this for long-term growth. There's a lot of companies out there, and you talk about profit, you talk about making money. How long? It's a quick hit. You're going to make a little money for a little bit, and then the company dies. That's what you have to take into consideration. And when you look at all of these IT AI companies, supposed AI companies that have been successful, that are going to have to retool just to keep up with ONPASSIVE and the level of technology that we have, that to me is a recipe, and that equals long-term growth and financial security for you and your family. And that's what we're all looking at. We're looking at, the other thing is the anticipation that we all have. We all have this incredible anticipation of what's next. I have a level of excitement of wanting to learn what we currently have, but also anticipation of what's coming. And that's ongoing and ongoing. And people should get real excited about that. We don't just have one product out there that we have to find a way to make it shinier and prettier and everything and resell it over and over again. We've got the best in the world, and they keep coming. And we don't even know all of them that are coming. That's what's amazing, is that there's a lot of products out there that we don't have a clue yet. Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah, hey, Comfort, let me talk about that just a little bit to put your mind at ease a little bit. I love to talk about the compensation program. I really do. Do I have an idea of what it might be? Yeah, I do. One of the reasons we don't talk about it is because of all the regulators around the world. There are just things we cannot say. And Ash doesn't want us to say those things. But I can tell you, when this thing kicks off and they offer OConnect to the world globally, and people are buying OConnect, anytime a sale lands in your organization, you're going to get paid. And you are not going to be disappointed, okay? You are going to get paid. And because OConnect will be a monthly payment, that is a residual income. People will come in, use OConnect, they're going to love it. They're never going to get rid of it. It's a lot like Zoom. People use Zoom for years. Now, they're not going to do that anymore because OConnect is coming out. But so that'll be a residual income. And then how it plays out, Ash has talked about the commissions. He's talked about bonuses. There are a lot of things in there that are going to keep you smiling, period. And that's what we all want. We want those smiles to just keep coming. You and everybody here, you're not going to be disappointed when ONPASSIVE launches to the world with the paid products. It's just going to be a fun time for everybody. And I mean everybody. So But as far as getting into specific details of what we think the compensation plan is going to be, we just can't do that, and we won't.
Yes, I believe that I'm very satisfied with what you gave me as far as compensation is concerned, because I just wanted us to discuss this for us to let people know, or what I believe is, for the past years, people have been after compensation plans, after profit and stuff. They've never made it. But then, like Dan said, and you both, what we have here is that assurance that at least financial assurance, at least there's something that is going on and on and on. You will always have something. That's what people need to know. So the people just want to, I think, try something else, something new. And that new thing is the value that Ash is bringing, that assurance that you will always have something, and not about profit and stuff, because they have gone after profits and they've never really made it. I really appreciate your answers on that.
Let me throw one more thing out there on that. We talk about these other companies and how they've failed, and the business model has failed, and how that compares with what we have here with ONPASSIVE. And the difference is that, we talk about it all the time, and it's very unfortunate that most people can't market, they can't recruit, they can't build a business, and therefore they aren't going to get paid. And that's the business model of that. With ONPASSIVE, for new people here, ONPASSIVE will be driving targeted traffic to your site. Okay, they're going to be driving that traffic. You're going to be able to purchase additional traffic to be driven to your site, and they will drive that targeted traffic to your business, and you will earn commissions on the customers that come in as a result of that traffic. And that's with no effort on your part. That's the experts doing it. That's ONPASSIVE doing it with their unique and qualified and very high valued traffic. So that's the difference. You will be successful in this business if you do nothing. But I have my views on that as well. I think that we all have to work a little bit. I have my definition of work if you want to hear that sometime.
Right, sure. Thank you. Yeah, so you guys said, both of you said, what Ash has in his ecosystem are superior products, best value, best price. And on the other hand, Mike, you said Ash is spending tens of millions of dollars on traffic. So is everything adding up? Because our products are superior, everything is best and so on, cost effective and stuff. However, we spend so much on traffic. What is the wisdom behind all of this? You need to unmute yourself, Mike. Mike, you need to unmute yourself. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Comfort. Yeah, that's a really, really good question, Comfort. You see everything that ONPASSIVE is doing, and they're not spending tens of millions of dollars. Ash Mufareh has spent hundreds of millions of dollars. And you think about it and you go, well, what is he doing? How is this going to benefit us? They're going to go broke before they even go to market. And I understand that. And it really is that it's part of the genius behind ONPASSIVE. Because Ash Mufareh came into ONPASSIVE with the thought of helping people rather than making money, it just took a whole different direction. And it took a direction that no other company in history has taken. And Ash Mufareh, he's very, very smart about what he does. And I don't know how he's done this. I don't know where the money has come from, Comfort. But I know he has sources out there. I know he's got governments that are going to come into ONPASSIVE and use the products of ONPASSIVE. There are large companies that are going to do the same thing. So it's been something that he's been building for 4.5 years, and it's been building and building and building. And when you look at everything that he's done over the last 4.5 years and the amount of money that he has spent, and then you understand the revenue that's going to be coming in, the amount of money that he spent, he will make that within the first 3 or 4 months. Now think about that. That's and more. That is so phenomenal. And it's because when he built the products of ONPASSIVE, he didn't build a product just to make money. He just didn't do that. He made the products so when people look at them, if you're talking about OConnect and the video conferencing platform, People are just going to come in and look at it and go, well, that's an easy choice. This other platform is gone. I'm in ONPASSIVE. Now, here's what happens with ONPASSIVE. They come in, they use OConnect, right? Now, we've got all these other products that are coming out. Again, they're superior. They're greater value. They have a great value, less expensive. And people come in and they see these other products come in. Maybe one of them is O Academy or one of them is O Staff. That's the HR division. Maybe it's OPAL. I mean, all of the products of ONPASSIVE are so good. People are going to look at them, and if they're using something similar, they're just going to switch. And here's what happens. You have one customer that buys 3 or 4 different products with a monthly cost. All of a sudden, you're getting 3 or 4 commissions from one individual, 3 or 4 sales, and your income starts to go up. When you start to think about that, that is going to happen daily, weekly, and monthly. Now, that's when you start. It's really, really hard to wrap your mind around this, because when the compounding starts, it starts maybe a little slow, but all of a sudden the compounding, it just shoots to the moon. And it's because of the way Mr. Mufareh has structured everything. It's because he came in and spent the money initially to do what needed to be done to be able to have ONPASSIVE have the business model they have. I don't know if that made sense at all, Comfort, but that's just throwing it around. Maybe Dan can clarify.
No, I'll just add one real quick thing here, and that is one of the most unique things I've seen and most amazing things I've seen is, in comparison to other businesses that we've been in, is the advertising and marketing. And look at what they're doing. I mean, the Burj Khalifa, the train station. These are such creative ways of getting people, not just once, twice, but looking at volumes of people that come into the train station, looking at all of the people that look at the Burj Khalifa and taking pictures of it, and you just think of who their friends are, and they're sharing that. We just talk about targeted traffic. Well, we tend to forget sometimes that targeted traffic is sharing it with other people. These people are sharing it over and over again, and they have friends all over the world. These people in Dubai have friends all over the world, and it just goes viral. And that's all to benefit. And all these people that come in, Ash is putting them in a pot, and the only way they can come into the business is through a founder, and that's us, or an affiliate, but pretty much a founder. So a lot of exciting stuff. I mean, like you say, we could just go on forever and ever. It's great, exciting.
Exactly. Thank you. So before we round up really quick, Mike, if you can, this is a concern somebody had, and it came all the way from home. So I would like us to address it now. Somebody is like, because what we know is Ash is promising everybody would succeed. And obviously we have people from various backgrounds, those who have studied, those who know businesses, those who have never been on internet, and somebody's worried. What would happen to those who are not, they have no clue how the internet functions? How are they going to succeed? What would you say about that, Mike?
It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. ONPASSIVE was developed for everyone, and even for those individuals that have no idea what to do online. And if you understand the ONPASSIVE business model, you'll understand why you're going to succeed, okay? ONPASSIVE is going to go to work for each and every one of us. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. Regardless of what you do, ONPASSIVE is going to go to work for you. What does that mean? ONPASSIVE has already built the products. They're ready to go. They're out there. OConnect is the first one, and then OTracker will be the second one. ONPASSIVE is going to go out there. They're going to introduce the products to people that will be interested in what they have. The people are going to look at those products, OConnect being the first one. ONPASSIVE is going to bring them in. They're going to become customers. They're going to buy the product. As they buy the products and land in your organization, you get paid. It really is that simple. It's the volume that ONPASSIVE is going to do that will get you excited about the business of ONPASSIVE. Ash Mufareh tells us all the time, if you're thinking about making $500 a month, you're not dreaming big enough. OnPassive has already brought in over 2.6, 2.7 million people into OnPassive. Those people right now are in a holding tank. And as OnPassive launches OConnect to the world, so that they can come in and buy the product, they will distribute those individuals into each one of our organizations. So it starts there. But as you look at OnPassive, Dan talked about the marketing that OnPassive is doing. By the way, they're spending tens of millions of dollars a month, not a year, a month, to do this marketing. It's the volume that's going to be coming in that will take your OnPassive business to the next level. You'll start slow. Maybe it's 500, maybe it's 1,000 a month. Then all of a sudden it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. And Dan and Comfort have said it. This is unlimited. They will never put a limit on how much you can make. And as OnPassive comes out with more products and markets those products, the individuals that they market those products to, again, they go into our organization and you will get a certain percentage of those. And over time, because of the business model of OnPassive, you will be taken care of. You will be able to take care of that financial bottom line. And it doesn't matter if you don't know anything about marketing online. If you don't even know anything about computers, you're fine. OnPassive is going to go to work for you. Dan talked about doing a little bit of work. You have to engage. Come listen to Comfort, listen to Dan, listen to those individuals that know about OnPassive. And as you do that, you're going to learn more and more and more and more. It's going to be a fun ride, and everybody here is going to enjoy it. Hopefully that helped, Comfort.
Sure, it does. And that's very, very reassuring. Thank you so much, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dan, I'm not sure if you'd like to add something to what Mike has said. Apart from that, given that we have various types of people in OnPassive within and without, some people joined long time ago, they abandoned it. Some have been plugged in. Some have just joined recently. Even this moment, maybe somebody's just watching us after signing up a few minutes ago. Some are still watching from the fence. So I would just like you to use this last opportunity to say what you want to say to whoever as it ministers to your mind. Dan, please.
Well, thanks again, Comfort, for having us on. I mean, this is a very educational format, and it's the kind of format I like to get on and just kick things around and talk about things of substance. But I think I mentioned when we talk about the opportunity and the structure of OnPassive and how it benefits everybody, whether you joined today or whether you've been in it as long as Mike and I have, 4.5 years, and you've built a team or built a sales team and had the opportunity to share it with other people. You're always going to have that opportunity. And whether you joined yesterday or today, whether you're an affiliate or whether you're a founder, you are going to have a level of success that is beyond your wildest dreams. And when I said work, and Mike just brought it up again, it's not a dirty word. Work is, I've said this before, it includes all activities of your life. It's whether you're providing an income to support your family or whether it's you want to gain education, it requires a little bit of work to gain that knowledge and learn those new skills. And if you want to get in shape, you got to exercise, that's work. That's a lot of work. And so all activities require that certain level of work in order for you to excel at that activity. If you want to learn a language, you got to work. You got to think about it. You got to really get after it. So my last message, I guess, would be let's just let the fun begin, and we're having a great time. We have up to this point, so it's getting very, very exciting. I mean, Ash, you can see his excitement, his level of excitement, and I think that's just contagious to all of us. So very, very fun stuff.
Oh, thank you so much, Dan. So over to you, Mike.
Yeah, just one thing, Comfort. I listened to Ash last night, and he went over a lot of things that are happening within OnPassive, all very, very good. OnPassive, ready rock and roll. And he ended the whole meeting with this one statement. And whether you're new, whether you've been here 5 years, you want to participate with OnPassive. Absolutely. But the word he used, OnPassive, is imminent. He's never said that before. He's never said it before. And when he says it's imminent, just keep your eyes open, because one of these days he's going to come out and it's just going to boom. It's just going to go. So I'll leave it there, Comfort.
I really, I thank you for bringing that up too, because even me, I feel so reassured each time you look at Ash, because even just his body language, how relaxed he is and how good he feels, you can read between the lines that there's definitely something so serious waiting for us, which is going to explode anytime. So we just want to be ready, guys. And so if you are new and it sounds interesting to you, go ahead and ask. If somebody is talking to you about ONPASSIVE, don't ignore them anymore, guys. Go back to them, find out a bit more, and find yourself in the ecosystem. And if you're joining ONPASSIVE because you want to change your life, then you definitely want to sign to become an affiliate. That's when you would have something to do with Mr. Mufara and his dream team. So, guys, let's share this if we find it useful. Subscribe if you have forgotten to. Thank you for joining. And Mike and Dan, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Comfort. It's been fun.
Thank you, Comfort.
Thanks. You're welcome.